It's time for us to get our heads checked, and just as well, because it's 오정아의 마음톡톡. 오정아의 마음톡톡.
네, 인사이드 부산 목요일 저녁에 2부의 저녁에 Mind Talk segment with our in-house therapist 오정아 원장님. 원장님 안녕하십니까?
안녕하세요.
Hello everyone. This is 오정아 from Chicago Therapeutic Center, 시카고 심신치유센터. 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다, 원장님. Thank you so much for coming in. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Good to hear. Right?
Yeah.
I think doing fine is
doing
very
fine.
important these days, right?
But when someone says to me, I'm doing fine, I'm like, oh, they're not fine. That's why I always
Why do
think.
you always go to the negative?
Because if someone, like, I'm used to people saying, like, oh, I'm really good, or like, oh, no, I'm terrible, I'm really tired, or something. So it's like there's more of a kind of one side or the other, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what's wrong?
kind of neutral.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm fine.
But Laura, it's okay to be fine sometimes.
It's okay to be fine, but it makes me think, are you okay?
이거
fine.
걱정이 만드네요.
왜, 무슨 일 있어?
Ask me tomorrow and I'll give you a straight answer, all right? None of this I'm fine business. All right, time for 오늘의 마음톡톡 시간입니다. What do you have for us today?
Sure. Last week we learned what art therapy is and the 4 common misconceptions of art therapy. And today we can actually try an art therapy exercise to release your negative emotions.
Yes.
So again, I will not analyze your art or the colors that you use. I brought some art materials that we can use.
맞아요.
And our listeners are welcome to prepare some pieces of paper and crayons or colored pencils that you can also follow along.
So we've got lots and lots of people on the tube saying, good evening, 원장님. Hello, 원장님. And Cos님 saying pencil and paper are ready. And of course,
Yeah.
hello, 원장님.
Okay.
충전소님, here we go.
원장님, would you recommend using color if you can for today's exercise?
Yeah, sure.
So you need
Okay.
colored
Yeah, yeah.
pencils or crayons.
So, 원장님이 저랑 로라 거는 미리 준비해 주셨는데요. So, for listeners, if you want to replicate what we're doing here in the studio, she brought us just, a color, 이거, 색연필이네요.
파스넷이라고 해서 크레용인데 조금 더 부드러운
네.
채고요.
그거 쓰고.
네. 근데
있는
사실
종이.
in our session we are using actually like watercolor
Oh, okay.
instead of this, but
You can't trust us in the studio with water.
I know,
basically.
so
I don't trust
that's
myself
why
either.
I
네.
brought this.
And then paper, and do you have to fold it like this to have four squares?
Yes,
I mean, 4 rectangles?
I usually make 6 sections, but today we have limited time.
Okay.
So I made 4
Nice.
sections.
All right. So when it comes to drawing, when it comes to art, look at Minsu's already asking for the guidelines. He's like, right, we've got,
just wanna draw.
Do we need 4? Can I draw something now?
아니, 그림 그릴래요.
And 충전소님 says, I really want to see what Minsu will draw.
Oh, I'm going to shock our listeners today.
Shocking. How are your art skills?
Huh?
How are your art skills?
I mean, they're okay.
Really?
They're not so bad.
Mine are pretty basic. So my father's an artist. So I went the opposite direction. I'm a visual artist.
아니요, 그런데 if in your family, if you have one artist, like the rest of them,
Everyone else is
like,
망.
like they're like okay actually.
망했다. I'm 망. I will
뭐
망.
오늘은 뭐 퀄리티는 보는 건 아니잖아요. 그렇죠?
네, 그런 건 전혀. 네.
So let's get into it. 네.
네. 그래서 제가 이제 감정을 그려보세요라고 하면 사실 되게 다들 좀 어려워하시거든요. 감정을 그림도 못 그리는데 감정을 어떻게 표현을 하지? 좀
네.
이렇게 말씀하시는 분들이 있어서 제가 조금 example 할 만한 그림들을 가지고 왔습니다.
네.
네. 그래서 first
So if you're on YouTube, you could see these pictures that we're putting up that 원장님 has provided us, right?
네. The first, draw your emotions as weather. Let's say you felt sad and then, you cried. You can draw like gray clouds and rain. Okay. And then second, draw your emotions abstractly. So let's say you have many thoughts that give you a headache. You can draw, for example, math of threat.
Ah.
So this is
that.
the abstract.
Tangled.
Yeah, that we're looking at.
And third, draw emoticons which represent your emotions. Face랑 facial expression.
Yeah.
그릴 수도 있고요.
Uh-huh.
And fourth, draw places or situations where you felt the specific emotions.
Oh, so we're looking, it looks like this person drew like the beach,
Yeah.
right?
And lastly, if you don't know how to draw your emotions in any particular way, write down the specific emotion word. For example, you feel frustrated, write down the word frustration.
Yeah, so in this picture here, person wrote frustration and then I guess with colors that they're feeling, right? That goes with the word. Okay. So it goes to show you, looking at these pictures, I mean, I'll be honest, these patients that you saw, not Picasso's or Da Vinci's or anything, right? But it encourages us, everybody, because, most of us aren't like these brilliant artists, right? So draw what you feel. Draw what you
See what you
feel
see.
and make it natural.
Right.
네.
It's very helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And so now let's get started.
Yes.
So I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment and think about your current negative emotions.
근데 if we're currently I don't feel negative
Okay.
right now.
Okay. So then some like negative emotions that you want to let go of. Okay.
Okay.
없으면
Yeah. Such as like sadness, anger, fear, guilt, shame, loneliness, regret, and so on. And what happened at the time? 그때 무슨 일이 있으셨나요? How did you react to the situation? 그때 어떤 반응, 감정적으로나 행동적으로 반응을 하셨나요?
it's difficult. By the way, we can't not talk on the radio, otherwise it's a big problem.
Yeah.
So even though it's nice and peaceful, we've got to keep talking.
Oh yeah, I'll keep talking. Don't worry about that. And then take 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Breath in, out. Breath in and out.
I mean, I'm doing what she's telling me to do. 네.
And then open your eyes smoothly. So I brought I brought a contraction paper pre-folded into 4 sections.
Yes.
I'd like you to choose between 1 to 4 negative emotions that you've experienced recently or the past. And Laura and Minsu, please draw anywhere from 1 to 4 negative emotions. So when you draw, color the drawing also with the crayons or colors pencils. So if you write down words, and then please color the background as well. If you want other emotions with a background as well, it would be great.
All right.
And so since we have limited time, so I will give you about 5 minutes to do that.
Oh, that's a long time actually.
It is a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So basically, even though we might not be feeling that negative emotion right now, just something that, we find ourselves kind of dealing with on a daily basis.
The daily basis, or you experienced previously, it's okay too.
Yeah. So while me and Laura are drawing our, I guess, that negative emotion, could you maybe explain to our listeners, because we are partaking in art therapy and Laura is going at it right now. Could you explain to us the benefits of this type of therapy?
So so there are many benefits. Here are some of them. One, expressing without words. Sometimes it's hard to talk about how you feel. With the art, you can show your emotions without using words. So this is great if you find it tricky to explain how you're feeling. 성인들은 많은 단어들을 알고 있지만 정작 감정들을 표현하고 얘기를 나눌 때는 어려움을 겪으시는 분들이 많이 계시고요. 특히 이제 심한 그 트라우마를 경험하신 분들 같은 경우에는 훨씬 더 그러실 수 있습니다. 그럴 때 그 말보다 그림이 훨씬 더 많은 감정의 의미를 담고 있을 수 있거든요. Two, being in the moment. Doing art makes you pay attention to what you are making. This helps you to stay in the moment. It's like a fun distraction that helps you relax and feel better. 그림을 그리는 활동에 집중을 하다 보면 과거나 미래가 아닌 현재에 머물고 그리고 이제 그걸 이제 영어로는 here and now라고 표현도 합니다. 그리고 그림 그리는 활동을 통해서 긴장을 풀 수 있고 기분 전환도 하실 수가 있습니다. 네, 3. Feeling out. So when you're anxious, doing art can help you feel calm. It's like a way to let out all those feelings that you might not know how to express. 불안감이든 어떤 부정적인 감정들이 있을 때 그림을 그리는 활동에 집중을 하다 보면 차분해지기도 하고 자신의 감정들을 그 자체 그대로 표현하는 것만으로도 그 감정들이 나로부터 멀어지는 느낌의 경험을 하실 수 있습니다. And 4, thinking in new ways. Making art helps your brain think differently. So this can help you figure out new solutions when you are dealing with problems that stress you out. So 미술 활동은 굉장히 창의적인 작업이거든요. 그래서 왼쪽과 오른쪽의 뇌를 다 사용하는 통합적인 행위입니다. 그렇기 때문에 한쪽 뇌를 사용하는 것보다 훨씬 더 효율적이고 그리고 효과적으로 현재 상황이나 감정들의 문제들을 해결하는 데 도움을 줍니다. 5. Feeling proud. So when you finish on our project, even if it's really simple, you can feel proud of yourself. This good feeling can push away the stress. So 우리의 자존감이 내려가면 뭐든 해내지 못할 것 같은 느낌이 들 때가 있으시잖아요. 그럴 때 이렇게 간단하고 쉬운 미술 활동을 함으로써 얻어지는 결과물로 이제 자존감과 자신감이 향상되고 스트레스 해소에도 도움이 되실 수 있습니다.
So benefits that are obviously art therapy provides, right? And we've talked about this last time too. What art therapy is, misconceptions that we've had, but it's great that you once again kind of remind us that this is something that's supposed to not like it's a step to help you get better. But art therapy kind of brings out like the emotions that you never maybe thought you had, or bring them to light more so that you could now deal with it, right?
Right.
Good to know. Okay.
So why don't you show your progress to our listeners who are watching the
I'm so embarrassed.
live stream on YouTube?
Can I analyze it? Let me analyze it.
Okay, so let me zoom in on me on the YouTubes. And for our listeners out there on the radio, if you're curious of the picture that I drew,
Get onto YouTube
get
right
onto
now.
YouTube right now so I could show you. Now, 원장님,
네.
I'm not sure if I followed your directions correctly,
okay.
but so two emotions, two negative emotions that I'm feeling
Sure.
these days, particularly these days, and I express them as like picture. Okay, so
Sure.
first, so I'll show you the first one. Okay, and once again, drawing skills are no concern right now. It's all about expressing yourself.
Right.
So this is the first picture that I drew. I don't know if our can you see that, listeners? Okay. So that's the first picture that I drew, and if you could zoom in on that.
Minsu, I know exactly how you're feeling.
So this is a picture of me, obviously, right, and my daughter. And wait, do I have to? Should I explain to you?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's up
So
to you.
the
Yes.
picture that
Can I
I drew.
analyze it?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So I feel like you are not looking after yourself as well as you should be because you want to be a strong papa.
Yeah.
You want to be strong and healthy for your daughter. So you're feeling guilt at not being like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Exactly. 그거 맞아요. So these days, I feel like I'm doing as much as I can to kind of be a dad for my daughter, and 특히 like play with her, right? Because kids at that age, she's only 6, and it's all about playing, right? And having fun, spending time, and she says sometimes that she wished she would be able to play more with 엄마 and 아빠, right? And as a dad, I feel like, oh, am I doing enough, right? So as you can see in the picture, my daughter's happy because she is playing with me, and I'm happy too that I'm playing with her. But there's always this sense of guilt. 좀 죄책감이 있어요. 더 해줄 수 있는데, 더 해줄 수 있는데. So like I want to be the super dad, but maybe I'm not feeling that, or I'm not being able to.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my picture.
Okay.
And the second picture is not a lot of
Why are you
effort.
laughing?
Not a lot of effort. But if you could zoom in on that, I can. So let me get closer. So for our listeners,
Oh, I love it.
네. This is my portrayal of loneliness. 네. In this big place, I have family around me and everything, but I feel lonely at the same time. Why? So these are my two portrayals of the two negative, because you said negative emotions that we're feeling, right?
Minsu.
Yes. So that's me.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me, Minsu, that you have both pictured yourself as large and muscular in one image, and then the other as small and...
It's because it's really zoom out.
I know.
엄청 멀리서 보면 we're all stick
I'm
figures.
just kidding.
Okay. Okay.
네, that's me.
네. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, no, of course. My
네.
pleasure.
그 안에 색을 조금만 채워주시겠어요?
색깔로요?
몸이랑
Oh,
이제
yeah.
그 밖에 그 두 번째 거 백그라운드도 조금만 색이 조금 필요하실 것 같아요.
네, 알겠습니다. I'll do
But
that
his
right
world
now.
is empty, once I mean. He's lonely and his world is empty.
Oh, but she wants details.
Something
Yeah.
like
Especially
more
my pecs.
represent here.
Get them pecs toned,
네.
son.
So Laura,
Wanna see mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one, this is my depiction of loneliness. It doesn't really go anywhere. This is
How do you do
loneliness.
that? 저렇게 어떻게 그렸어요?
It looks like a sea creature a little bit, but this is loneliness. So in the middle, there's like light. There's me, I guess. And then around that it's dark. And just the colors. The red doesn't really mean anything in particular. I just wanted it to be dark.
Okay.
So I think because I feel the same as you, Minsu, and I think everybody feels lonely at some point or another. Because first of all, we feel sometimes that we're going through experiences ourselves, but also it's a black hole. It is a black hole. Event Horizon. And so for me as a mother, and also for me as a 외국인 in Korea, that can also sometimes feel really lonely. Like I can be sitting around the dinner table with my family and they're all speaking Korean and I'm like, well, I can understand like 5% of what you're saying. Most of the time I can understand a lot of what's going on, but if it's a topic that I don't really understand, all goes over my head. Like sometimes you just want to eat like home food, you know? So anyway, that's my depiction of lonely. The next one, 화가 난다. This is anger.
Fire.
Fire. So on the top is what you see, like is what happens when you get angry. So I say you get angry. So I don't really get angry, but I was angry at something recently. So on the top is how I felt on the surface, and then on the bottom is how I felt on the inside. Like rage. But I let go of that. And this one is confusion. And it's an ocean, and it feels very overwhelming. There's a lot of colors, and yeah, this is my ocean.
Do you have better markers? I mean, crayons than me?
No.
Why does yours look so nice?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Have you seen what I've been drawing? Look at my hands. I use my fingers.
You're smudging them.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Looks very 3D.
Does it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, yeah, it does a little bit because I broke the crayon, so I had to smudge it in a little bit more.
So
yeah.
now, Minsu.
Yes.
Look at your drawing again.
Yes.
And then, how does your drawing make you feel?
It makes me feel sad.
Sad.
Yeah. That
Okay.
the two realizations, right? Just me feeling, I guess, 죄책감, guilt, because I can't do more for my daughter.
Okay.
And with the bottom one, the loneliness, I didn't really explain this because, I have family, I have coworkers around me, but I don't really have like friends, because all my friends, like best friends, are back in the U.S. And I came.
Hello.
Yeah. I mean, best friends here.
Yeah.
Right. But my friends that I grew up with, they're all back in America, and I came here when I was like super old. So it's like I don't really have friends. I have like acquaintances,
workmates,
they're like
that
work
kind of
friends,
stuff,
I
yeah.
guess, right? But yeah, so here in Korea, like the feeling of loneliness has been always a part of my life.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. So let's pretend this that this is someone else's drawing, not yours. Any words of comfort, empathy, or advice you like to give?
Well, I guess for like, let's say if this was another dad that feels this, I guess, it's your effort. It's the effort that counts and the thought that counts. Spending quality time with your daughter. But like, I would say, but kids, they always say that because they always want to play. And maybe, I don't know, I might be taking it a little too seriously, right? When like my daughter says, "Oh, I wish I would, have more time with my, mom and dad,"
Right.
Because they always want to play. Because I guess don't take it too seriously. And if you feel like you're doing a good job, then you probably are. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
네.
You know what I would say?
What?
너는 진짜 충분하다.
그렇죠. 저도 그렇게 아마 그게 맞을 거예요. And but maybe it's like I said, kids, because they always want more, right?
Yeah, and they need, but the thing is, they need a healthy dose of other people as well.
Yeah.
Kids with only mom and dad, they need to be socialized with other people now and again.
Yeah. So that's what I would say.
But guess what? Can I tell you something?
What?
I bet you, to Haru, you already look like that muscle man.
Yeah.
You already are her hero.
맞아요. I think so too. It's she might not say it, but she always looks to me or comes to me for thing when she's in need. So yeah, I feel like I'm that to my daughter.
You're already superhero.
네.
So how about Laura?
So when I look at these, I actually feel. Oh, I don't feel sad or anything. Like any emotions that I have, I've done so much work and mindfulness and, just meditation and etc. so that any emotion that does come up, I deal with it really quickly. And I just let it be there. So I'm not scared of anger. I'm not scared of loneliness. And I accept it like it is part of my decisions. It is part of life. And so looking at these, I don't feel kind of anything. Does that make sense? I don't feel anything about them. Like it was a happening and then it passed. It was a happening and it passed. See this blue one? This is kind of like my daily life, I guess. So it's confusing and it's overwhelming, but it's also kind of exciting and it's beautiful and it's dynamic and there's always something going on and it's movement, and I think that's really exciting for me. So even though it's a negative thing, it's okay. If it was someone else, I don't know. If it was someone else, I would think the first one would be really depressed. I would say step into the light. Don't throw yourself into a black hole. But yeah, I don't know. And the second one looks really angry. Second one looks like painful.
Spikes.
Spikes.
Yeah.
Spikes and fire and blackness and rage. But again, I don't know.
Stop being angry.
I'm not angry. I'm angry for fun a lot of the time. But if it was someone else's, I would think this person's got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
I would.
All right. So thank you for sharing. So now I'd like you to tear along the pre-folded lines to separate the emotions.
Okay. Okay. Let me rip this.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Wenjin, we have about 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tear up each emotion card, and then when you so each of cards and tear up each cards when you tear up each card, please focus on the specific emotion that you are ripping up.
So we're going to rip this up.
So while you are tearing up each card to about thumbnail size, you can say anything you like to say to it internally or out loud.
Okay.
Like for example, you can say to the emotion, I had a hard time because of you. I don't want to see you again. Something like that.
I hope I don't feel too much of you.
I dropped you long ago. You don't have your power over me.
You shall not pass.
You shall not pass.
네. Okay, I ripped it up
deal
as
with
much
this.
as I can.
I like this. This is
Yeah.
very fun.
It's very soothing for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
So yeah, we were supposed to put the pieces, on another piece, paper. But since we don't have time today, we can just wrap up. But how was the process for you? Means, as you said, it was a really
Yeah, it was
soothing.
actually, this is my first time, I think, telling somebody about this. And I did this, with thousands of people listening on air. But it's good to, I think, just bring it up. Yeah, and I think doing it through drawing is a very accessible method for a lot of people because I feel like it's I don't want to burden people with my stress or worries. But 그림으로 하니까 조금 더 이렇게 편하게 더 이렇게 그 감정이나 생각을 전달할 수 있었던 것 같아요. Yeah.
I think, I think it's really important. I always talk about mental health on this show and on the radio. I'm very open about all of the mental health issues and struggles that I've had because I think it's so important to have other people feel empowered to talk about it. But I think for you, as a man, as a father, I think it's so 감동적이고, so cool, and you should be. It's just such a wonderful thing that you opened up about your emotions because I feel like men have a harder time. Not just for themselves, but also in society to open up and talk about that kind of stuff.
맞아요.
So I want to say thank you for doing a solid to all of those lovely men out there who need to feel seen and heard with their mental health.
And thank you to Wenjun. I feel like you were just kind of leading us, but we came to self-realizations by ourselves.
Yeah, but she was judging us the whole time. She's like, I'm not going to analyze you
맞아요.
externally.
스스로 이 감정이 나오니까 이것도 좀 좋고 이게 좀 이렇게 속이 시원한 그런 느낌도 들기 들긴 드는 것 같아요. Yeah, just to let it out. 네. 원장님, thank you so much. Now, obviously, this is like just like a small part of like the therapy that you do. This could be like an hour, 2-hour session, I'm sure, with your patients. But we gave our listeners like a short taste, like a sample.
Children's name is texting and saying it's great that 원장님 didn't get shocked after she saw Minsu's drawing.
오늘 그것도 좀 신경 썼습니다, 중교사님. 네. 원장님, well, we do have to unfortunately wrap up, but this is something that we're actually going to cover for the next couple of weeks, the next couple of times you're here with us, right?
Sure,
a couple more. So, yeah, 원장님, thank you so much. Today, actually, me and Laura doing a part of the art therapy that you do with your patients and just your people that come visit you at your center.
Yeah, thank you for both of you
Of
to
course.
like talk about your situation.
It was our
and
pleasure.
feelings and
Yeah.
really
It
honestly.
was our pleasure.
and-
Yeah.
So fun. I'm not stopping. I'm going to do this. I have no interest in doing the rest of the show. I'm
Keep
just going to
going.
do this.
We do have to wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
But 원장님, thank you so much. We'll see you next time, right?
All right.
On Thursday for 마음톡톡. Okay?
Thank
원장님,
you.
다음에
bye.
뵙겠습니다. 다음 뵙겠습니다. 네.
Bye bye.